Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of SimWorld. Today I am Marsh, joined this Friday morning by Rick Blaze. Good morning, Rick. It's a great day in SimWorld because we've got SWFL football reaction for us about time on a Friday. Good morning, Rick.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Of course, the Alpha and the Omega of SimWorld has to be here on a Friday because you won't have the Omega if the Omega is not actually here on a Friday. So I'm here at the end of the week. Let's get to it.
There you, there you go. So Ravens Chiefs, a dramatic opening night for SWFL where the Ravens march down the field to try to tie things up. Their last second pass inside to Isaiah Ikely, likely not good enough. 2 inches of, probably less than 2 inches of the toe outside, ends the game. The Chiefs win at 27-20. Rick, your immediate takeaways from last night in seeing two teams that probably many expect to potentially meet again in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, well, my first take was disappointment. I was very disappointed. First of all, I was disappointed because I had likely on my dynasty team, but I didn't start him because I didn't know if Andrews was going to play or not. So I just left 35 points on the bench. That's the disappointing thing for sure. Other than that, very good game, very close game. I think the Ravens, they kind of settled in later on, right? In the beginning, it looked a little shaky, especially the defense, and defense kind of settled in. But that Xavier Worthy, man, is he fast. Now, if you hit him, he's probably going to die because he's that small. But man, you got to catch him first. That is one fast hombre. But I think it was a really good game. I think Lamar Jackson looks a lot slimmer and trimmer, but I don't like him taking hits. You can't come back smaller and then still take big hits. So I don't know if the offensive line need to get it together. He maybe needs to run. I don't know, but he's not going to play 17 games at that size taking those hits. That's for sure.
He's also not going to play 17 games with the play style that he had last night. I think at one point in the fourth quarter, he had 10 carries for over 100 yards. That's a fantastic stat. That's a fantastic ability. The problem was he was being forced into those situations by an offensive line that they talked about it many times on the broadcast, was young, has not played together much. And it showed because Chris Jones was constantly having to get double teamed. He had a couple big plays in the first half, and then from there he had to the Ravens had no other choice but to bring two men. My Isaiah Likely was awesome, but as you watch this team, I was kind of caught off guard by the size of the Ravens wideouts. Zay Flowers is a great slot guy. Rashad
Small.
Bateman is a valuable wide receiver, but they are small. Yes, they are
Yes.
tiny. I found myself watching this team line up, and I'm saying, where's the big kind of jump ball threat? Like it's Isaiah Likely, and
Yeah.
he did a great job. And I gotta say, his touchdown where he just kind of Lamar Jackson that little stutter step on his way in was a thing of beauty, but they had no size, and I think that's a big challenge in terms of getting separation. You already have an offensive line that was not doing a great job, granted against one of the league's best defenses in protecting Lamar Jackson, but you also don't have wide receivers that are physical, create their own space without needing to use their speed type of guys. And that, in my opinion, does not bode well over the long term for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know if that means they go out and get somebody, but they could have used anybody with some size that can make a physical reception.
Well, listen, this team was built to run the ball first. That's why they brought in Derrick Henry, who was basically ineffective for most of the game, neutralized. But they was built to run first, and they have the quick wideouts on the end to stretch the defense when they try to cheat over to stop the run. Last night, that game plan didn't work because they wasn't that effective on the run game, and so now those Ferraris on the end couldn't get loose to do what they do. If they have to play pass first, run second, they're going to be in for a very long season.
Yeah, 13 carries for 46 yards from Derrick Henry. He had the opening touchdown. Um, it's to your point. There were times in the game where the Ravens were marching and Derrick Henry wasn't even on the field because they just couldn't. They were getting behind the sticks because they weren't making any headway on first down, or two, they were just playing an up tempo game trying to get Justice Hill going out of the backfield with receptions. That's not That's
No,
not Derrick Henry's game. And
no.
credit to the Chiefs because this Chiefs team, they won the Super Bowl last year because of Patrick Mahomes, but they also won it and they got there because their defense was absolutely outstanding. I'm not saying that you only should look at PFF rank, but it is a testament to this defense when you looked at when they're going through the opening or the starting lineup for this defense, and basically half of them, if not more, are top 10 at their position. The Chiefs are legit. And their chance at a three-peat is not just on the arm of
Newsflash.
Patrick Mahomes. It is on the defense as well. All right, let's head to college football, where we're heading to week 2 of college football. And there's a big old noon kickoff game coming our way from Ann Arbor as we get Texas and Michigan. Number 3 Texas, number 10 Michigan. This game is going to be an absolute doozy. It is going to be a matchup of two teams with massive championship expectations. Rick, here's my one reservation about this game. 2 years ago, this game meant the world. 2 years ago, this game was you win this one and you're setting yourself up for a championship. Now, with the team that's in the Big Ten and the SEC, granted, that's no guarantee they make it further, but this game feels a little bit less important.
I think a lot of it has to do with where they're playing in the season. They're in game 2 of the regular college football season, so I have to agree. And with all the shakeups in the conferences and things like that, it kind of you have to reestablish some of these. It's still a big game. Don't get it wrong. Anytime you go into
Yeah.
play with 100,000 people in the stands, it's a big game, no matter what, right? It's number 3 versus number 10. It's still a big game, but this doesn't necessarily, because the way everything's set up now, this isn't necessarily make a both teams want to get the win, but it's not. Oh, the winner of this game is going to the championship. There's a
Mhm.
lot of so many other things in play. But I'll say this: I am waiting for the opportunity to finally see Arch Manning from UT to do his thing. I think he's going to be a stud. I'm not as high on yours as a lot of people are. So I've been waiting on the Arch Manning train to come on down, baby. Let's go.
Well, I will tell you it is not going to Ann Arbor unless there's an injury to QB1 because Arch Manning will remain on the bench. But yeah, this is two teams in suddenly stacked conferences, and I think that's why non-conference premier non-conference matchups used to mean so much because you kind of knew a good Texas team is probably going to walk through the Big 12. You knew a good Michigan team outside of having to deal with, Ohio State, Michigan State during their heyday, Wisconsin. They were probably going to be at the top of the Big 10. That's just not the case anymore, right? Now you've got to go through if you're Texas, Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia, Auburn, like the list, Oklahoma still. The list is long. The same for Michigan. So there's this, yeah, if Texas wins this thing, great, awesome win on the road. That's, guarantee them a spot in the Final Four or the top 2. And now it's like, well, even if they win, are they still going to be able to, make it through the minefield of a schedule that sits in front of them? We'll find out. That one, again, at noon on Saturday. All right, let's head to SimWorld U, where we are just one step away from bringing in a special guest here on Friday. But first, news out of Alabama. DJ Childs had a setback yesterday in practice. It is now considered, quote, a coin flip from a source close to the situation about his availability for opening night. He is set to get MRI today, I believe. Rick, not a great sign for one of the nation's top players headed into the season. We are officially within 1 month of opening night, and there is a massive question mark over his availability for day 1 and by extension the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this team is cooked if TJ Charles is not playing. He's the straw that stirs the drink. Let me tell you, Chris Child's play, a Child's plate. If DJ's Childs is not on the court for this team, they are not the same team, period. A lot of players on this team, including the freshman, Aiden Weaver, are contingent upon getting theirs off based on how DJ Childs run the point guard system. You got a bunch of guys who are playing off of his style offensively, and he's kind of a guy who's active on defensively as time as well. They're not the same team. They're not the same squad. If DJ Childs is now on the court, uh, yeah, no, they need Childs. Period.
They need Childs because this conference is not going to make life any easier on them. Tennessee finished number 3 in the country last season. They made it to the Elite Eight. Kentucky ended the season at number 4. Arkansas at 19. Auburn at 21. Missouri just got the number 1 recruit in the nation. These other teams are loading up. There's no, just like there is on in football, there's no room for error in the SEC. Granted, a little bit different composition of the conference, but without DJ Childs, who is unquestionably one of the best players in the country, this team is reliant on him being there. And if he is not available, or even if he is 65% of his normal self, Alabama's in trouble because they need him to be at least 85% to be able to be competitive. Their schedule does not give them any room for error. This is going to be a story to watch and keep an eye on now and into the future because if he's not there, Alabama's chances at an SEC title, at making it into Hoopsteria, you can cross it out, you can call it done because he is the only thing that's making this team relevant in terms of championship potential. Sure, they got some nice freshmen. Those guys are going to be nice additions. Aiden Weaver, Coco Bryce. But without DJ Childs, this season is not going to get off the ground for Alabama. All right, let's bring in our special guest. We are staying in the SEC where Texas A&M's Ronnie Shanahan taking time out of his College Station morning to come on to SimWorld today. Ronnie, good morning. Thanks for joining the show.
Hey, March and Rick Bled. I'm glad to have y'all. I'm glad to be on this show with you guys this morning.
Look,
Hey
we
man,
just
I
talked
know it was
about
bright and early.
it's very bright and early out in
Uh,
Texas for you guys. Ronnie, we just talked about DJ Childs and that injury. From your guys' standpoint, is that something that you keep a close eye on, or are you more worried about what's going on in house, considering just the talent level that DJ Childs is?
yeah, I mean it. I mean, it sucks to hear the news. I mean, what happened to him and stuff like that. And I'm just hoping he gets all the medical stuff he needs to get healthy again, get back out there. And I mean, for me, I just wanted to get back out there and you know see him play some more ball and all that.
Ronnie, let me ask you. You know, you're in the. First of all, congratulations on your commitment to Texas A&M. Gig 'em. But you're in the SEC. We talked about the SEC and how difficult the SEC is. Ronnie, be honest with me. What are you guys' chances, you think, of coming out the SEC? If you had to predict how many wins, I know that's not really what players do. I know you're gonna tell me one game at a time, yada 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 yada. I know that's how it goes. But how do you feel? What are the chances of your team this year? You feel coming out the SEC as a top seed or as one of the top seeds in that division?
That's a good question, Rick. I know I know we were below 500 last season. We just got to, uh, yeah, we just got to, man, we just got to focus on try and hit the 3 pointers stuff like that. But a lot of us play really good defense, especially some of the top teams. Like we got the we just got to play better against them. Play better and. I just got to try to come up out on top. But wins, uh, I'm just hoping we can try to get at least above 500. Something where we can be one of the top seeds and all that on that in the division.
Ronnie, you guys got a litany of some pretty nice names on here, just in terms of maybe some prep stars who have made that transition to SimWorld U. So, in your opinion, who's kind of stood out the most from your Texas A&M roster as you guys have been going through training camp?
You got got Tyrell Mars. He's pretty good guy, man. He's he's a good guy to get out there and we practice with. Man, you got both the Carters. They're really good to be around. Uh, like Henderson, he he uh he he's pretty good, and then I mean, I don't know, just about everybody on this team, man. We're all, they all stand out pretty good. I know Pitts, he's done really well during some of our little training and stuff like that before the season starts.
Well, Ronnie,
You
that's a
know,
very politically correct answer. I appreciate that.
Ronnie. Before we get you out of here, man, I got to ask. We're in Texas, of course. You're from Texas. Favorite barbecue item for you is what?
Rick, I gotta go with, man. I'm a big I like brisket.
Ah, my
So man,
God.
I'm a big brisket guy, but man, I do love getting out there and cooking hamburgers and stuff like that. But but like barbecue wise, yeah. Uh,
Brisket.
okay, ribs and brisket are my two favorite things I like to do. Especially if I'm out there tailgating and something like that, or during a game or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my to go items: is brisket and ribs.
All right, Ronnie. Well, look, appreciate you taking the time this morning. Thanks for coming on the show. Best of luck this season. We'll look forward to keeping an eye on Texas A&M and College Station and what you guys can do in the SEC. Certainly will be a ton of fun. So, congrats on the commitment. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
that is our show. Rick, thank you for coming on. I look forward to chatting with you on Monday, where we will be recapping a full weekend of SWFL action. It is finally back. Labor Day's in the rearview mirror, and football season is smack dab on top of this windshield. We will be rolling with it. Thank you all for tuning in here on SimWorld today on SimWorld TV, the only place you can see the game, be the game.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld.